Unfiltered. Ricky Bo, Bill Colarulo.
Philadelphia Sports Talk. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
All right, a little after 5 o'clock here on Unfiltered. We're going to switch gears a little bit. We've been doing a lot of Sixers and Flyers talk today. I want to talk some Phillies because we've been kind of neglecting the Phillies, Ricky. You haven't been because you've been doing your pre- and post-game live on NBC Sports Philadelphia. But I felt like most fans in the city, you can only invest your energy into so many things. And with the Flyers and Sixers on, it's been hard.
Which is true. And I'm not going to sit here and lie to you that I was completely invested in Phillies, which I obviously when I'm doing the games, I'm watching the games. But I think everybody, if you're a sports fan, automatically you get caught up in the realm of possibilities. And when you get to a playoff series, what's the first thing you're thinking of? That cup's coming here. That chip's coming here. And you know what? Hey, at least there was a little bit of a run, at least from the Flyers standpoint. It was a positive run. For the Sixers, I would love to say it was a positive run. It was a positive series. And then a complete and utter disaster.
We did a 180 in 8 days.
Yeah.
It was amazing. But I want to talk about the Phillies because I want you to kind of break down. We're a little over a quarter of the way through the season now. They're 19-22. Only 3 games under 500, which seemed impossible to be a couple of weeks ago.
True.
But they've been good. They've won, 4 straight series now?
4 straight series against
bad teams.
Subpar. I'll call them subpar teams. Now, I make that comment, and people you can get as mad as you want at me. I don't care. But the one reason why I make that comment is because it's truthful, number one. Number two, why I make that comment is everybody else has to play these teams too. And these are the games where it's kind of like you live and die from. Why do I say that? What if you were still playing really bad baseball against these teams and you lost 5 or 6 more games against these teams? Then we would be saying there's really something wrong with this team and I'm done. Instead, you caught these teams at the right time and you ended up winning series. That's what you should do in baseball, especially if you're a good baseball team in general and have a roster that's built. I think this is the type of baseball you need to play. You need to beat the teams you're supposed to beat and then play 500 against the rest.
And they're slowly chipping away. So before we get into bigger picture here, how they look now a little over a quarter of the way through, let's look at the lineup tonight because you start a 3-game set against the Red Sox, who were also a reeling team. They fired their manager. They haven't necessarily bounced back the way the Phillies have from firing their manager. But we got a lineup tonight. You got Zach Wheeler on the bump in Boston. What's the lineup looking like for the Phillies?
I got to say one thing before I get to the lineup. They usually have a headline on ESPN.com of what's going on with the series. Like it'll say Wheeler leads Phillies into series with Boston.
Yeah.
You know what the headline is? Marsh leads the Phillies against the Red Sox.
Your superstar, baby.
Following a 4-hit performance, but Brandon Marsh is hitting pretty smooth 353 right now. We'll see if he's in the lineup. Here we go. Trey Turner will lead off. He's playing shortstop. Kyle Schwarber is batting second, him of the 16 home runs. 2 more on Sunday. Bryce Harper is batting third in the lineup. Adolis Garcia is fourth in right field. Brandon Marsh is fifth. Him and his 353 average, along with 21 RBIs. Something a lot of people forget. Behind Marsh will be JT Realmuto hitting 6th. Bryson Stott will hit 7th. Alec Boehm will hit 8th. And Justin Crawford will hit 9th tonight. So I think this is your everyday lineup. The Red Sox do have a left-handed opener starting. Okay?
It's a bullpen game, though?
Yeah, no. They will have a right-hander coming in after the fact. Gosh, I had his name a minute ago.
Gotcha. So they're going left-handed opener to take on Schwarber and Harper in the first inning.
That's what it looks like.
And then they'll switch to the right-handed pitcher.
It doesn't say it.
All right, but a lefty will start, and then they'll bring in the righty.
Yep.
But, yeah, Brandon Marsh, for those who haven't been paying attention, I know as of yesterday led the National League in batting average. Does he still after last night's games? I haven't updated it, but
he was up 9 points. So yes, he does.
All right, so he's hitting 353 this year, which is wild. And then the crazier part to me, well, I shouldn't say crazier because Marsh leading the National League in a batting average is insane. But the fact that Schwarber is on pace for 60 home runs and Harper's on pace for 40 home runs.
Brian Bello, a righty, will
That's
come
who's
in
coming
after.
in. But like, Ricky, if I would have told you, not knowing anything else, Bryce Harper is going to be having a career year.
That would not surprise me.
Kyle Schwarber was going to be having arguably a career year.
I think he's going to hit 60.
And Brandon Marsh is having a career year.
That's the surprise.
But you would have thought this team's probably kicking butt.
If you told me Brandon Marsh after a month, a little bit over a month, was hitting 270, I would have been like, awesome. That's a good start for him.
But if I would have told you those three things, would you have expected this team to be 19 and 22?
Absolutely not.
Right?
Well, you know what? A lot of people will blame the lineup for what happened in that 10-game losing streak. I blame the starting pitching.
Yeah, they haven't been great. Recently they have.
And then recently they've kind of turned it. I don't know if it's irony or not, but ever since Wheeler came back, things have kind of flipped on its backside. That to me shows what kind of leader Zach Wheeler is, just getting his butt to the mound. And the other thing is Luzardo's kind of been up and down, as we know. But he's had two really good starts since Don Mattingly has taken over. Christopher Sanchez has now put himself right back in that Cy Young talk again. Aaron Nola, he's had his ups and downs, but, at least he's there. So I don't know who else you want to talk about, because that, to me, is the biggest thing that has changed is the starting pitching. The starting pitching was not there at all. As a matter of fact, before that, I believe they did not have a pitcher go 7 innings.
Yeah, until like 2 weeks ago, whatever.
Well, the first one right after Mattingly took over. It was, I think it was either Sanchez or Luzardo that night. He went 7 innings. And that was a streak that the last time that had happened was 1901.
Yeah, that's insane.
The Phillies had gone that many games of somebody not going 7 innings. Although you do take off a lot of those years because, back in the day, they just used to throw.
Oh, they would let you pitch till your arm fell off.
Yeah.
So here's where you are right now, though, which is crazy. You just mentioned Christopher Sanchez back in the Cy Young conversation. In the National League right now, Paul Skeens is the favorite at a plus 230. Christopher Sanchez is right behind him at a plus 300 in terms of Cy Young for the National League. MVP in the National League. Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper are 3rd and 4th in the National League odds for MVP. Now, they are way far apart
good
from
or bad?
Shohei Ohtani.
Is that good or bad?
I think it's good. What would be bad about it?
Oh, no. I mean, it's good that they're both in the talking, but is it bad for one of them to win it?
Oh, well, no one's going to win it because it's Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani is a minus 320, man.
He's pretty good.
But Schwarber and Bryce Harper, 3rd and 4th in terms of National League MVP odds is impressive. But the question I wanted to throw out to you, Ricky, was like, how good is this team? Because when you look at it now and you just look at the odds, they have the 4th best odds at this point to get out of the National League and represent them in the World Series. And I look at them over the last 15 days. Listen to these rankings in Major League Baseball in the last 15 days for the Phillies. They're number 1 in hits, number 1 in home runs, number 1 in RBIs, number 1 in batting average, number 1 in slugging percentage, 2nd in OPS, and 2nd in runs scored in the last 15 days. This team is doing what we all thought they could do when the season started. And I say all thought we could because I know people were worried about October, but you knew they could be a really good regular season team. How good are they? Because the one question I have, all right, the lineup's doing their thing now. The starting rotation's doing their thing now. What was the big selling point from Dombrowski and Thompson about why they weren't running it back? What was supposed to be a lot better? The bullpen. What's going on with the bullpen?
That's a good question. Obviously, here's the thing. I think it really comes down to setting up your setup guys. I think Alvarado is now starting to come back into his own. So I got to give him a little bit of a pass. I mean, he hasn't been great this year. He hasn't been terrible this year. He's just kind of been there. But you need a little bit more than that. I think you need him to be – he may have to be that guy out there because we've seen enough from Brad Keller to know that I'm going to tell you something. He makes me nervous. He went in and filled in for Duran a couple times, and it did not look like he had a big-time confidence level going out there. As a matter of fact, it looked like he was a nervous wreck to be out there in that type of situation, which tells me what's going to happen when you really kind of come down to the nuts and bolts of things. He's not going to want the ball in certain situations.
And he was arguably your biggest free agent acquisition?
I would say so, yeah.
Right? Brad Keller.
Like, what, 20, whatever.
$22 million over 2 years.
$22 million in 2 years?
Yeah.
What a joke.
Now, when you say you don't trust him, it makes you nervous. Is that something you think he can find? Or you think this is just what his season's going to be like?
I probably trust Bolin right now more than him.
Yeah, which is not how they drew it up when they signed.
And Tanner Banks got off to kind of a rough start, bumpy start. You know who's throwing the ball well? Interestingly enough, Orion Kirkring.
Your boy.
Yes.
Orion Kirkring.
Keep fighting, kid.
Bouncing back. All right, so when you look at some of the surprises, the bullpen is one of them. And what have you seen from Trey Turner recently? I mean, he was the NL batting champion last year, struggled early.
I think he just overswings. I know he had the 4 hits the other day. He overswings. I don't know what is making him do that, because what worked for him last year was a lot of backspin on the baseball and a lot of just barreling the ball and let it go. Here's the way I would put it. You look at Brandon Marsh right now. That is what Trey Turner was doing last year, using all fields. Don't worry about how hard you hit it. As long as you get the barrel to it, let it find a spot to fall. When you do that, when you start using all fields of all parts of the outfield, it makes the game so much easier, especially for a leadoff hitter. I just think he's trying to power too many baseballs. You don't need to do that. And he kind of reverted back. Do you remember the year of the standing ovation? One thing he had a big problem with was a high fastball. He's swinging at every high fastball he sees.
Yeah, he's only hitting 240 this season.
You got to lay off of certain pitches. He'll get back to where he was.
All right, so if Turner turns things around, he's gotten a little better. Schwarber is playing great. Bryce Harper's playing great. Would you say Bryce Harper has been elite this season?
Absolutely.
How about that, Dave Dombrowski?
Or is that a take that, Dave Dombrowski?
Yeah, it probably is. I mean, look, I think when you look at this lineup, the bigger questions right now, and I don't know how you fix them, Bryson Stott and Alec Boehm, who you have no like for at least Bryson Stott. I guess you're still platooning with Edmundo Sosa, but Stott's been hitting the ball well. Alec Boehm has 2 home runs the other day. Do you expect Stott and Boehm to turn things around the rest of the way, or do you think this is just what we have with those two guys?
I think Stott will. I think Boehm could very easily revert back to who he was. I think he could go on a little bit of a hot streak here to make him feel a little bit better about himself. But guys will figure him out again, and he'll kind of go back down into the hole. I think Bryson Stott is on his way up. I've said this from the beginning of the season, though. I think he's one of those guys that should be a 300 hitter. Whether he plays every day or not I'm not worried about that. But he is hitting lefties as well as he is hitting righties.
All right,
so
here we are now. 41 games into the season, right? So like I said, a little bit over of a quarter of the way through. This is a playoff team, right? You got them bouncing back and making the postseason?
Yes. Yeah, I do. I actually think, are they going to contend for the East? There are a lot of games out, but there's a lot of time to play. I think they will. I think they end up contending for the NL East. I think, look, if this slide, this 10-game slide, if that happened in late August or September, yeah, we'd have to go clean out our diapers because it would be over in a hurry. But it happened so early in the season that you have so much time to make up. And I think you're going to go with baby steps. Okay, first thing is start winning series. They've done that. They've won 4 in a row. Next step is what? Getting back to 500. How do you climb back there? Now they're a couple games out of there. They got to get back up to 500. Once you get there, all right, let's get to 5 games over 500. See how long that takes. Then you keep climbing. This isn't a team that should go back into a skid like that.
I wouldn't think so.
If they lose more than 3 or 4 in a row the rest of the season, I'd be surprised.
Now, look, this team has been great since Mattingly took over. But have you seen Don Mattingly really doing anything differently, or you think just firing Rob was the wake-up call the team needed to say, hey, get your acts together? because I haven't seen Don necessarily doing anything that's that crazy with the lineup or with anything that he's done in terms of the way he manages the game. Have you seen anything drastically different between Rob and Don Mattingly? Or you think it was just, hey, this is a wake-up call when you fired Rob?
I think it was a wake-up call. I think it was something that needed to be done. We heard from and the reason why I say that is, remember hearing from Bryce Harper and what he said? He was like, well, we were waiting for something to happen. That tells me that they were done with Rob Thompson, the players. And I don't know why. We may never find that one out, actually, of what happened with Rob Thompson and his players, because they obviously, I wouldn't say they quit on him, but they weren't giving everything they had for him. And I really don't think that's a manager thing. I think people just get too comfortable.
Yeah, so we'll see if they can keep it going tonight. They had a night off yesterday. Now they're in Boston tonight at Fenway Park. Zach Wheeler on the mound. We're going to do our unfiltered home run predictions at the end of the show. We're going to bring those back. You're going to love to hear who's in first place now. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, Ricky Bo. Who's in first place of unfiltered home run predictions? Yours truly.
We've done like 4.
Hey, don't argue with it. I'm in first, and that's all that matters.
It's because he got one right, but I got double points.
I got double points when Harper hit 2 home runs that night. That's the reason I'm in the lead. But we'll do unfiltered home run predictions before the end of the show. Right now, we got another chance for you to win a $50 gift card to a business involved with the South 9th Street Market Festival. This one is for a $50 gift card to Ralph's Italian Restaurant, which I believe is the oldest Italian restaurant in the country, if I'm not mistaken.
Sounds good to me.
So we're doing Italian-American athletes, all right? I'm going to give you some clues. If you know it, text the Davis Honda text line, 610-632-0975, for your shot at a $50 gift card to Ralph's. All right, here we go. Are you ready, Ricky Bo?
I am.
Somewhat of a local Italian-American in sports, all right? There's a clue. I briefly pitched in the majors, but became famous in another role. I managed one franchise for over 20 years. I won 2 World Series as a manager. Who am I? Text the name of the Italian-American manager to 610-632-0975. Coming up, I will give you the answer. We got We Hear You Part 2, best voice messages of the day. And you're going to have another chance to win another $50 gift card for some Italian-American trivia coming up next, right here on Unfiltered, 97.5 The Fanatic, NBC Sports, Philadelphia. All right, welcome back into Unfiltered. We just had another trivia question for your chance to win a $50 gift card, this time the Ralph's Italian Restaurant. This is all courtesy of the South 9th Street Market Festival, taking off this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Should be a lot of fun. But we're doing Italian-American athletes. So here were the clues for this one. Said it was a local Italian-American athlete. Briefly pitched in the majors, but became famous for another role. Managed the same franchise for over 20 years. Won 2 World Series. Who am I? Did you know this one, Ricky Bo?
It's Tommy Lasorda.
Tommy Lasorda would be correct. And we have a winner of the $50 gift card to Ralph's, our man Jonathan from South Philly. Congratulations. But if you didn't get it, don't worry. You got another chance right this segment. We're giving away a $50 gift card to George's now, another Italian-American athlete. This one people should be able to get. We'll get to that coming up right after this. But we've been talking a lot about the Sixers. We talked about the Flyers. We even did a little Eagles and Phillies talk. So we have the best voice memos of the show now coming up for We Hear You. These could go anywhere with anything we've been talking about. We Hear You always brought to you by Rycor Heating and Cooling, delivering high-efficiency heating and cooling solutions across the greater Philadelphia area. New Jersey and the Delaware Valley. Visit RycorHVAC.com or call 1-855-MY-RYCOR to schedule your free consultation today. Rycor, we know how. Let's get it.
Now.
I want to know.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to tell you.
Are you listening to me?
We can hear you.
I have something to say.
Please just keep it simple and brief.
Thank you.
Listen to me carefully.
And that's all I have to say about that.
We hear you.
All right, let's get it started.
If they get paid by the game, the performance will be a lot better. That's the way I see it. They should get paid by the performance of their game. I am a 60-year-old woman with one arm. I could do better on the field than they do. Bryce Harper, he can get 50 home runs in one game, and he'll still walk away with a miserable face. Why? Why do you do that? Well, you see, you know why? Because he's getting paid $29 million, so it doesn't matter to him. That's my opinion, and that's how I feel. They're just overpaid. Pay them by the game. See how they act then. Thank you.
What do you think, Ricky Bo? Play him by the game.
That's interesting. I think, you know what's odd? I think a lot of people think that's what should happen.
Oh, yeah, that's a popular.
But it's not. That's why they are Major League Baseball Players Association, because they have a strong backing.
Now, I don't know. She was talking about Harper.
I think she's talking about everybody.
But I thought it was probably related to the Joel Embiid discussion. Because if Joel Embiid is only going to play 38 games the year before 19 and the year before that 39.
Definitely brought up Bryce Harper.
Yeah, she said Harper. But look, Harper's battled injuries too, but he's not the guy I'm directing my anger to today. But yeah, could you imagine if Joel Embiid's salary was prorated to the amount of games that he played?
Yeah, that would be a problem.
It would never be allowed.
He would be making less than half of what he makes.
See, but here's the issue with it, and I understand the caller's perspective on it. The problem is the reason you can't do it where you tie it to the amount of games that are played is because injuries do happen. And unfortunately, it's just that it's a part of sports. Now, some players are more injury prone than others. I get it. But what athlete, well, I shouldn't say what athlete would want to do it because you get to play a sport for a living. But, I mean, if you're an athlete that tears your ACL in football and you got to miss the season, you're not going to get paid? What are you going to do?
They don't get paid in football if they don't play.
They get their contracts. There's guaranteed
they've already
money.
Gotten their bonuses is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, there's game checks, but they get their guaranteed money. Now, football's the only one
they
of
don't
the three.
Get the game checks, though.
Yeah, but football's the only one of the three where it's not all guaranteed. There's a lot of times you can get cut in the middle of a contract. Basketball, hockey, and baseball are guaranteed deals. So you get your money no matter what. Joel Embiid could miss the entire season next year, and guess what? He's still making $58 million.
Yeah, it's true.
That hurts.
So, all right, let's keep him rolling.
The 76ers would be foolish not entertaining any trade offers for Tyrese Maxey. I'm not sure long-term him and VJ work out together because they basically play the same position. Tyrese is not a true point guard or a point guard at all. And him and VJ, they're going to have to make a choice maybe between the two at some point. The lottery system's going to change next year anyway. Tanking teams, there's no such thing anymore. All the teams in the lottery pretty much have the same odds. So as many first-round picks as you can get will accelerate your rebuild, and the Sixers would be wise to do so.
Yeah, listen, that's been pretty much the general sentiment today. You know, I came in and we were talking about George and Embiid, and people were throwing out Maxey, and I said, I'm not even answering the phone, but Ricky made a really good case on why you should, and a lot of callers have said the same thing. Maxey probably brings back the most in return. Embiid and George, you're giving up stuff to get rid of those contracts.
Right.
Maxey, you're probably getting 5 first-round draft picks. I mean, if that's what Mikal Bridges got.
I would probably say at least. I think he's probably worth more than Mikal Bridges.
Or did the Knicks overpay for Bridges?
Oh, they definitely overpaid, but still. Doesn't that become the status quo?
I can't get over how many fans are willing to trade Maxey, though. I really can't.
I don't think anybody wants to trade him. I think you have to look at all the facts
value.
and where you stand.
They're saying if you're actually trying to rebuild and you're thinking in terms of value, you're going to get the most by trading Maxey rather than trading Joel and Paul George.
And I would say that even if you got 5 first-round draft picks, what would you say the chances are that 2 of those 5 are better than Tyrese Maxey?
You would definitely take it.
No, I'm asking you. Do you think that 2 of your 5 draft picks you would get?
I think 2 of the 5 could be as good.
That's the big question. Because when you look at the history of drafting for the 76ers...
What if all of them are good, not great? Is that still good enough?
I think Maxey's better than good.
Okay. But what if all of them are good?
I think you'd be lucky to be able to get a player as good as Tyrese Maxey.
Not really the question I'm asking you, but that's all right.
I don't know, man. I don't know why I'm so reluctant to trade in Maxey.
I love Maxey. I wouldn't trade him. But if you cannot, right, he is a great player. That was very good, Sylvan. But, I mean, when you think about it, what else are you going to do? You're going through his next 3 years. As you told me, I asked you, do you think they win anything in the next 3 years standing pat? You said no.
No, they don't.
Okay,
Exactly.
then what are you doing?
So they're saying maybe get rid of Maxey. I don't know.
Yeah, you trade Maxey, you get a bunch of draft capital. I mean, you're still probably 4 or 5 years away.
Either way, you are.
Yeah, either way, that's the issue.
So I don't know what you're doing. I mean, at the end of this, Maxey's going to be into his 10th year.
Man.
And you think you're going to build on that with younger guys?
Oh, my God.
So
Do you see what I'm
depressing.
talking about here?
So
This is hell.
But what you have to do, this is why I said it was hell yesterday.
This is hell.
So if you traded Maxey, are you keeping Embiid and George and just letting them ride out their contracts?
I think you have to.
Yeah.
So in essence,
I mean, the whole
we're back to the process.
The whole reason you would literally trade Maxey is because you could not get rid of George and or Embiid.
So we're back to the
Correct.
process, essentially. Because you're not going to do anything in the next 3 years.
Well, you don't
It's
think they're
right.
going to anyways.
But at least with Maxey and Edgecombe, you see the future. If you trade away Maxey, your future is unknown. It's draft picks. And draft picks are simply that. They're draft picks.
I see what you're saying, but you told me they couldn't win.
I hate you because I think you're actually making a really good point here.
All right, let's keep them rolling then.
You are suggesting us as Sixers fans to basically go through another process where we're giving up another one of our stars, like Holiday, so we can revamp our whole roster based off of the mess-ups of our GM. Again, Hinkie got us out of the cap situation we are. Now, he didn't draft for it, as the other one mentioned. So now, because Morey messed up and got us back in the cap situation, now you want us to give up another one of our stars so we can go through these years of hopefully picking the right people. I can't see that happening. And I can't see Sixers fans signing up for that.
So basically, I didn't know he was going to say that. That's in essence what I was just talking about. That's the hard point to sell to the fans. Is Maxey, who is not only a likable Sixer, but arguably your most reliable player right now. You're going to trade him for more draft capital. When do you then see the light at the end of the tunnel? Because there's no guarantee that those draft picks work out that you get back.
Right. There's no guarantee you go anywhere with Maxey and Edgecombe. Because you're kind of stuck with two other starters for the next 3 years. 2 years and then a third year.
This is depressing. It's a depressing conversation.
You have to look at different angles, different ways that this team could possibly go. And I guess that would be one of the ways. But it's only because of the haul you would get back. Nobody actually wants to lose Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah, it's because of the haul. You're right, because he's a desirable asset. All right, keep him
desirable.
rolling.
He's a great freaking player.
Great?
It's probably
He is a great
also
player.
one of
I
the
think
only
he's great.
reasons people go to games and watch games as well. And
Which is
VJ
probably
as well.
one of the reasons why they wouldn't do it.
Exactly. I agree.
Oh, yeah, if it's about selling tickets. All right, let's keep these rolling.
It's not Nick Nurse, it's the players. So, the only reason I'd get rid of him would be to get a new voice in here, but I don't think that's not what they need. They need Nick Nurse, and they need some bench players, and unfortunately, I'm going to say this, somehow we have to get rid of Joel.
Yeah, I don't disagree with anything the caller's saying. I don't blame Nick Nurse, but I do think if you move on from Daryl Morey, who hired Nick Nurse, it's probably more likely that the new GM or new president that came in would want to hire their own coach, but who knows? But when you didn't give Nick Nurse a bench, I agree with the caller. And he also would wake up and not know if he was going to have Joel Embiid or not. That's not an easy way to coach a basketball team. But Nick Nurse might just be collateral damage if you do, in fact, fire Daryl Morey and go in a different direction. You're probably bringing in a new coach, too, but that's yet to be determined. But, yeah, I would try to trade Joel, too. That's where I am. And I haven't been a Joel Embiid hater over the years. I have not. But at this point, when you give a guy a decade, when do you just cut bait and say, hey, it's time to try to go in a different direction? I think we're there. I think we're there right now, Ricky Bo.
We definitely are there. You have to get to a point where there's no more looking back. I think the Sixers just got there. You were swept out of your own building this past weekend. That's not a good sign. And on top of it, it's to a rival in the New York Knicks. Yeah, okay, great. You took down the Celtics. Okay, congratulations on that. Sixers went cold. The Celtics went cold 3-point shooting in that series. And guess what? The Knicks picked up their threes for them.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I'm not wrong today. I'm having a good day.
You are having a good day. Let's see if you can get the last trivia question, this time to win a $50 gift card to George's, all courtesy of the South 9th Street Market Festival this weekend. We're doing Italian-American athletes, all right? If you know the answer, text it to the Davis Honda text line, 610-632-0975. I'm going to give you 4 clues. If you know it, text it. Here we go. I was born in Connecticut. I started my college career as a catcher. I finished my Major League Baseball career for the Milwaukee Brewers. And I have the most saves in Phillies franchise history by an Italian-American. Who am I? Text it, 610-632-0975. Coming up, I'll give you the answer. We'll get our final Twitter poll results with regard to whether you trade Paul George or Joel Embiid. And we got unfiltered home run predictions are back coming up next. Keep it here. 97.5 The Fanatic, NBC Sports, Philadelphia. All right, coming down the home stretch here on Unfiltered. We just had our last Italian-American athlete trivia question of the day. So a big thank you to all the businesses affiliated with the South 9th Street Market Festival. Not only did they drop off delicious food today from Toludo's, Anthony's, Lorenzo's, and Isgro's, they also gave us 5 $50 gift cards. So we gave away a gift card to Paisano's, Toludo's, Capuccio's Meats, Ralph's Italian Restaurant, and now we're giving away a gift card to George's Sandwich Shop down there on 9th Street. And we did it by doing Italian-American athlete trivia. The last one we just did for the George's Sandwich Shop $50 gift card. Here were your clues. I was born in Connecticut. I started my college career as a catcher. I finished my Major League Baseball career with the Milwaukee Brewers. And I hold the record for the most saves in Phillies franchise history by an Italian-American.
Let's do our backflips.
Now, believe it or not, during the break, Nick Earnshaw, who's producing Philly Sports Tonight coming up next, I gave him all that clues. He was clueless as to who the person was.
Who the hell is Nick Earnshaw?
And then I said to him, Ricky, he doesn't know who it is. Ricky Bo. Yeah. Who am I?
You are me.
Ricky Metallic. Oh! If I had my drop.
What would you hit?
Thanks a lot, Bill.
How about charging about a Metallic going?
Did you just
from the Philadelphia Phillies?
You're hitting.
There it is.
Pitcher Ricky Metallico.
That would be correct.
You,
love it.
So the winner of the $50 gift card to George's Sandwich Shop, Joe from Delco. Congratulations. But make sure everybody checks out this Saturday and Sunday, the South 9th Street Market Festival. It's going to be awesome.
It is going to be awesome.
Food vendors, live music, South Philly traditions.
John Marzano, half ball.
Grease pole challenge.
You're going to go do the grease pole.
Oh.
I might.
I would pay money to see both of you do the grease pole challenge.
I would probably get up to the top.
Why is it? You know what's funny? You're the one that should do it.
Why the hell should I do that?
You and Tommy should do it.
Why should I do it?
Who? Tommy. All right, here's what we got coming up, though.
I can't do that.
I don't know if any of us would get up that pole, to be honest with you, but
Dr. Avidan Appel would.
It's worth a shot. Speaking of Dr. Avidan Appel of Iron Mountain Men's Health.
Of Dr. Avidan Appel, you definitely would.
I know he keeps the Twitter poll up. Maybe he's going to keep the grease pole up down in South Philadelphia as well. Who knows?
Right.
Guy just keep polls up all over the city, apparently, and the Delaware Valley.
Results say, the numbers say yes.
People stand at attention when Dr. Appel comes by.
Yes, they do. So our question today on the Twitter poll, to start the show, we were looking, all right, everybody wants change with the Sixers, right? That's a universal opinion. Everybody wants change. Daryl Morey could be a start, but even if you get rid of Daryl Morey, and even if you get rid of the coach, Nick Nurse, you still have the problem of the personnel not being good enough. Joel Embiid not being able to stay healthy. Not having a bench. If Josh Harris doesn't want to go over the luxury tax, how are you going to make this team better? So I thought the easiest question for the Twitter poll would be, if you could only trade one, would it be Joel Embiid or Paul George? Now, before we get the final Twitter poll results on trading Embiid or George, a third option kept making their way into the discussion today. And not just from us, most callers and texters said the move to make is Tyrese Maxey because he will bring back the most draft capital in return of a trade. Where if you trade Joel, you got to give up draft capital most likely just to get someone to take on that contract. Same thing with Paul George. But if you traded Maxey, you are going to get a lot of draft capital in return. Now, I am sticking to my guns on this, Ricky. I am not doing that. I know you've made a good case for it. I know callers and texters have made a strong case for it. I don't like a losing culture that has already been allowed to fester in the Sixers organization to continue by trading away the one guy who gives it his all, the one guy who works on himself and tries to improve year after year after year, who's still only 25 years old. I don't want to give that up in hopes that maybe an organization that rarely gets it right would make the right draft picks. I'm not doing it. I'm keeping Maxey, and I'm trying to trade Joel Embiid. That's my position, and I don't think I'm changing.
That's a pretty good position. I think that's fine. I think you're gonna if you are the new GM, you're the new Pobo for the Sixers. You're gonna take in everything that is going on. You're gonna have to make some kind of a move. Is it going to be the head coach? Is it going to be Maxey? Is it going to be Embiid? George? If you can't get rid of Embiid, you can't get rid of George, I would say you're stuck in a big, big way.
I was wondering who was typing. Silvana has her mic on. Do you hear all that
I
typing?
did hear typing. I thought it was you. I
thought it was you too, and I'm like, neither one of us is typing.
I'm
Who is
texting
that?
the people.
Yeah, I just think you have to make a splash, don't you?
I thought it was going to be Embiid or George. We probably should have included Maxey. We probably should have included him in the
I see that it could be Embiid or George, but the more I hear from these national reporters saying that is almost an impossible thing to do, yeah, I would say I get a little nervous that it can't be done.
All right, well, specifically about Embiid and George, because we did not add Maxey to the Twitter poll, even though we probably should have. I'm very curious where these final results came.
No, I think you're good not adding him.
So the question was, if they could only trade one, Joel Embiid or Paul George, who would you trade? Now, originally, before Maxey got thrown into the equation, I said Joel. Ricky Bo said PG. Let's see where the final results came in. What do we got, Sil?
If the Sixers could only trade one player this offseason, who should it be, Joel Embiid or Paul George? 52% of people voted for Joel Embiid, 48% for Paul George.
Man, it was close.
I think that's out of frustration.
Yeah, it was close. And we got some comments underneath about Maxey. A lot of people saying Maxey. All right, so we will continue this. If we get any news tomorrow with regard to Daryl Morey getting fired, certainly we'll bring it to you. There hasn't been any updates on that. No one said his job is safe, and no one said that he's out. Howard Eskin was on Middays today. That's right. Howard Eskin was on the Midday show today. He said he's hearing from multiple sources that Morey's going to get fired. So we'll see if that is, in fact, going to happen this week. We'll bring it to you when it happens. But tonight, for the first time in a while, you could sit down and you could watch a Phillies game without any Sixers, without any Flyers. The only game in town, the Philadelphia Phillies in Boston taking on the Red Sox at Fenway Park. Zach Wheeler on the mound for the Phils, and unfiltered home run predictions are back. The updated standings right now, in first place by a long margin.
Why does he never do it whenever we're in first place like this?
Bill Colarulo.
By a large margin.
Yeah, that's because I had double points for Bryce Harper's 2-home run night the other night.
You hit one so far.
Yeah, so far I've only predicted one correct home run. You've predicted 2, Ricky. Silvana's predicted 1. So we haven't been doing it that often, but we're back. We're going to do it all the time now.
Yeah.
So who's on deck to hit a home run? Brought to you by Sequoia Outback on Route 309 in Hatfield or at decksupplies.com. Experience the ultimate with Sequoia Outback.
That means you go last now. You know that, right?
Correct. Silvana gets to go first. So who is going yard tonight for the fight and Phil's Silvana Kelleher?
All right, I'm just going to go with an easy one now since I am going first and go with Kyle Schwarber.
Kyle Schwarber tonight is a plus 250. So Silvana's taking Schwarber
That's not bad.
at a plus 250. That would get you 2.5 points. Ricky Bo up next because you're not in first.
That's a short porch and left. A routine fly ball could get out. I'm going Trey Turner.
Oh, he's got big odds tonight, too. Trey Turner is a plus 710 tonight.
Ooh,
that would get you 7.1 points. Oh, man.
Hope he goes.
I have someone I would have actually went with, but I just want to get some points.
Can't say anything.
So I'm interested on who you're going to pick.
I am going with Adolis the Swolos Garcia tonight.
That's a good one there.
Adolis Garcia tonight is a plus 520. You can book it. Adolis is going yard tonight. Who are you going to say, so?
I was going to say Bryson Stott.
Oh, Bryson Stott tonight is a plus 1,200.
Wow, that would have been crazy.
He has that little swing, and down the right field line.
Yeah.
It's not very deep down there either, if you put it right on the line.
All right, but tonight, Silvana's got Schwarber, Ricky's got Trey Turner, I got Adolis the Swollest. We'll see who is right and who is wrong. We're going to keep a running tally throughout the season to see who the unfiltered home run champ will be. I think it'll be me again. But coming up on the radio side, I didn't cheat. Coming up on the radio side, you got Brendan Gunn with a little Philly sports tonight, produced by Nick Earnshaw. And on the television side, you got Phillies pregame live, but no Ricky Bo.
No me.
I wonder who's in there today.
I don't know.
Well, Phillies pregame live coming up next. And tomorrow on the show, Jason Stark. Always love talking to Jason. Have a good night, everybody. Go Phillies.